this inaugural talk, we can move on to the remaining part of the symposium. We have some people logging in from abroad. They need some time zone adjustment, so we'll be accommodating them at a particular time. Now, Dr. Siri Rama will be presenting her talk on performing the Tulsidas Ramayan, a national and international Rasa Yatra. This is a talk about her own classical dance experiment. She performed this particular creation by her on several stages all over the world. She is an adjunct lecturer, School of Social Sciences, Singapore Management University, and the Nanyang Academy of Fine Arts, artistic director and choreographer, Kanakasabha Performing Arts Center, Mumbai and Singapore. She is a very well-trained classical dancer in Bharata Natyam and Kuchipudi both, and she has many achievements in the area of classical dance to her credit. She has been a regular participant also in our conferences and symposiums. Over to you, Dr. Siri Ramaji.
Thanks. Thank you so much, sir, for the introduction. And it was, I think I could have listened to the previous caller go on and on. I think he needs a day for talking about all that he knows about Ramayana in Tamil Nadu. And every sentence was such a learning experience. We learned so much. So I like to introduce, I'm presenting my journey with Tulsidas Ramayan. And I'll just, start with I have a PowerPoint presentation and I would like to begin with that. I am assuming that you are.
Yes, it is.
So, thank you.
It is visible.
Guru Namaha, with salutations to my gurus in performing arts and all the gurus that I learn from every single day of my life. I begin with, talking about my journey with Ramayana. Of course, as a classical Indian, trained in classical Indian dance, I have done, from my gurus, and in Kuchipudi, there is Annamacharya songs, Ichwaku Vamsha Jalanidhi Soma, which is very, Ragamalika creation of, in Telugu, the Sampurna Ramayana. And of course, with my Bharatanatyam gurus, I have participated in dance dramas related to, which have taken verses from Kamba Ramayana and Ramanataka Kritis. But my journey with Ramayana, initially, though I had the opportunity to present Ramayana as a dance drama with, the existing lyrics, I got a chance to actually work with the text of Tulsidas Ramayana. And this, I'll talk about the journey. And I'll also explain the pictures that I've used in the slides, because like the one in the frame you see, it is a poster of Rama Katha, which I presented in Singapore in 2009. And this was how it was framed outside when the audience came in to see the performance. The beginning of the journey, interestingly, because Nagraj and others have mentioned, started with a comic book version of Tulsidas Ramayana. There was a famous comic book company called Indrajal Comics, which were really very famous for, like action comics. But strangely enough, they had 1 year, because of the devotion they had for Tulsidas. This comic book company presented a comic book version of Tulsidas Ramayana, actually taking extracts from the Tulsidas Ramayana, getting it translated. And my father, we were in Mumbai, Bombay at that time, and he brought it home and he showed it to me. I was very young, and I was in school, and he, showed this book to me and said, "Look how a comic book can be presented with actual texts instead of just translations." So with the actual text and its translation, it was authentic version of Tulsidas Ji's Ramayana. So it gave a very different picture for me, because here I could actually read the verses of the original text and see the translation and then decide whether, of course, the language is Awadhi, which took some time to understand because I was only conversant with Hindi. But anyhow, this journey started, and in Bombay, I was invited to present Ramayana at an Ayappa suburban temple festival. And they said that our audiences are not necessarily all from one community, even though it was a temple built by the Keralite community. They said our audiences come from different parts of India. So could you present Ramayana, but in a in a language that everybody could understand? And at that time, I remembered this text of Tulsidas, and I requested my a musician I was working with at that time, Vidyan Sri Tangirala Raghu. He's strangely enough, his name is Raghu. So, so he's agreed, and he was a though he had sung for Kuchipudi and Bharata Natyam, and he was a trained classical musician. He was so devoted to the idea of creating music for Tulsidas's Ramayana that he took a long time to do this. So it wasn't just about, oh, this is the scene, this is the choreography, and I need music like this. It didn't work like that. He would say that I need to actually look at the lyrics and go and see the poetry and also the divinity. So he would actually sit with the lyrics for a long time, read the verses again and again and again. And he would say, only if divine inspiration moves me, then only I'll give you the music. So it was a long process. And he really, at that point, tendency many times for modern day classic, choreographers or anybody else, we are limited by certain practical, difficulties. But I think the process of this slow process of actually working with the music was also very nice, to actually infuse devotion in the. So I'll just play a sample of the music that he sing, because he said, I just don't want to put Carnatic music because it won't really do justice to the lyrics of this. So let's just hear the first. He was very interested in starting the like a refrain, like the Tulsidas ji starts with Bandhav Avadapuri Ati Pavani Sarayu Sari Kari Kalushana Savani. So he sets the stage. Look at the poetic and visual. The minute you hear those lyrics of Bandhav, that is dear fellow human beings, Avadhapuri Ati Pavani. So that Avadhapuri was a very pure place. Sarayu Sari. So next to the Saray. Kalushana Savani. Didn't have any klesha or anything at that. So that whole, with two lines and in a very simple poetic language, Tulsidas ji is able to create a visual. And that is very, it helps a choreographer or a dancer to visualize that, that moment. So as a musician, he said that he wanted to have this as the refrain, that every time the song comes back to, the moment comes back to this pure Avadhapuri. Kausalyadi Nari Priya Sabha Acharana Punita Pati Anukula Prema Druda Haripada Kamala Binita. So all these lyrics were used to introduce Dasharatha and to introduce the atmosphere in Ayodhya. I will go ahead. And then after performing just, we were given an hour and a half to perform Ramayana in Mumbai, and we just did the part till Sita Kalyan, the first as a beginning. It was later when I went to Hong Kong that I was invited by the then president of Indian Art Circle in Hong Kong to choreograph, Tulsidas Ramayan, because there in Hong Kong, the predominant members in the community were a Sindhi community, and they were very devoted to this text. So they actually had, I was also presented by Mrs. Sadhwani, a text of Tulsidas Ramayan. And they used to worship the Tulsidas Ramayan as a text in their household shrines and even in the temple. So I in this, but however, I could get, I had the budget at that time to get the musicians from Mumbai, but the cast entirely was from Hong Kong. So I had a mix of people to work with, artists to work with. Everybody from the Sindhi and other South Indian and other communities were very eager to participate. And we had a very, this thing. I'll just play a little more of the music that was selected when we expanded to the second half of the Ramayana. And here you will see an image here where, Shurpanaka is, approaching Rama, and so Raghu sir wanted to give it a more, a feeling of hasya. That Shurpanaka, that's how Tulsidas ji also, though she's a frightening character, there is an element of, hasya also mixed with that. Like, how could she behave in such? So, Naak Kaani Binibaya Bikarara, Janu. So, that is the when her nose is cut. Besides this, like has been said by the previous Vidwan also, that, Shiva is actually also shown in Tulsidas Ramayana. In particular, it is Shiva begins the Ramayana with telling the story about Rama to his wife Parvati. So there is, and there is, of course, so I begin the dramatic version of my Ramayana with Shiva Parvati and Ravana worshipping Shiva and Parvati and getting the boon. So there is a wonderful Sanskrit shloka on Shiva in this Ramayana. which lends itself. So Namami Ishana Nirvana Rupam Vibhum Vyapakam Brahma Veda Swarupam. Like that, it's a beautiful this thing on Shiva, and it continues. So again, moving further, I also had and besides these moments which were there were also the next one, introduction of Dasharatha and his Shringi Rishihi Vasishta Bolava, Putra Kama Shubha Yajna Karava, Bhagati Sahita Muni Ahuti Dine, Pragate Agni Charu Karaling. So he, Tulsidas ji, in very beautiful lines. So whenever we perform the Ramayana, I had a cast both in India and outside of people from different religions. So the Agni Deva being performed in the picture that you see, he is actually a Christian student of mine, Derek Fernandez, who is no more now. But he also participated and had equal devotion in while participating in the whole performance. So it was a place where we could bring together people, and it served as a point of meeting. And of course, besides these descriptive stanzas, there are a lot of special poetic moments, that's how Tulsidas ji is so connected. So actually, when Rama is made asked to leave by Kaikeyi to fulfill his father's vows. He actually so we have I have selected these also was selected. Sunar Janani Soi Sutta Bada Bhagi Jo Pitu Matu Vachana Anuragi Tanaya Matu Pitu Poshanahara Durlabha Janani Sakala Sansara. So it's a very general statement that Tulsidas ji has made about the existing thing, that it's not always a son who cherishes and listens to his parents, but I will do that for my father. So these stanzas and all were chosen in particular to also emphasize the human connect that Tulsidas ji did in the voice of the divine, that he could see the world, and also this helped for performers to connect, who are from the modern generation, to connect and see that it was not just about divinity as in being a distant self, but as connecting with the world that they worked in. So these are some performance and rehearsal moments. The Hanuman in this picture being shown, he was again a Christian pastor from Tamil Nadu who was living in Hong Kong and who participated in the production. I had Kalakshetra artist Rani here, who is performed Kaikeyi. And I had amateur performers like the gentleman you see who was doing Dashrata, who had never been on stage. So it was a mixture of professional, amateur, and people who had never performed on stage. So the cultural impact again in Hong Kong Cultural Center, I think Dr. Nagraji talked about connecting to the audience and the Sahridaya and seeing the performance through the eyes of the character who follows the right path. This happened with Chinese, a completely Chinese audience in Hong Kong Cultural Center, so much so that till today, we as a group, dance group, talk about it. This was an audience which had come and they were watched the Ramayana, and at the end of the Ramayana, they asked us to they said we would like to take a photo with the entire group. So the audience members were in, this thing. And we didn't think much about it, but the Ravana character stood next to Sita. And the Chinese audience members immediately shouted in, Cantonese, which we took some time in understanding. So they shouted in Cantonese saying, no, no, he can't stand next to Sita. Please make him stand somewhere else. Because they couldn't even imagine after seeing the entire production that um, Ravana could even stand next to Sita post the production. So so I was very connected, what Dr. Nagaraji said, that the audience connects with the righteous character and it stays with them, the lesson. And also, there was emotional resonance much after the performance, where there was an Indian Sindhi lady who found peace in watching the Tulsidas Ramayan perform. Of course, the art of listening to the Ramayana is there in satsangs, and even people invite, read it. But the idea of watching it when she was under treatment moved me a lot, and is something I remember about Tulsidas Ramayan, and we performed it in different centers in Hong Kong. Now, jumping quite a few years, in 2009, the Singapore Indian Fine Arts Society asked me, that is Siri Rama, to choreograph, to present Tulsidas Ramayana. And for that, I'm thankful to one of the teachers there also who helped me, Minal Mirai. Her students and my students from Mumbai and Singapore collaborated, and I choreographed the entire thing. That's the orchestra where I'm sitting. And I had a Hindustani musician and a Carnatic musician, and sitar and violin and mridangam and tabla, and a blend of this music. And here I was I was invited to work with uh, non-Indian performers for the Ramayana. So here I had Chinese opera and Malay artists performed in this production. So the Chinese opera, the person I was working with is a scholar, Dr. Chua Supong of the Chinese Opera Institute, and he was familiar with the Ramayana. As everybody knows, Ramayana is quite well known in Southeast Asia. So he actually was a Chinese who was from Indonesia, was very familiar with the Ramayana, and he's a Singapore uh, scholar and artist based there. So he had already written a Chinese opera version of the Ramayana. So he was familiar with the subject, and when I asked him to, get involved in this, he was very happy, and we worked on these two aspects. He wanted to play, we worked on him playing Maricha, and he had a student playing the Golden Deer. Similarly, Vanisan Somsai, Madam Somsai is a Malay artist based in Singapore, and we worked on doing the Guha scene together. And also, there were a lot of non-verbal communication when language barriers arose. or something, the dancers would engage and understand the story of the Ramayana through, non-verbal so, it's the collaboration was fairly successful or very successful because there was familiarity with Ramayana in Southeast Asia. There was exchange of even artists at grassroots level. And, finally, even the Tamil papers, presented, articles on the Tulsidas Ramayana. And me and my student also got involved in a local Chinese opera Ramayana presentation where she played the part of the golden deer in the Chinese opera version. So it was at the grassroots level. So this is not, one was a presentation at a proper auditorium and concert hall. And these other presentations were more in local, what they call housing board communities, and more at a grassroots level with, stages that were not, great, auditoriums or anything, but grassroots organizations, and that also worked with this Tulsidas Ramayan. So I just want to show a short clipping of the production. So like I said, it began with Shiva cranking a broom to Ravana. So, Putra Kama Shubha Yajna Karta. This is the Gurukula where Vasishtha, young Rama, Lakshmana, Bharata, Shatrugna, goes. This is the scene where Dasharatha is full of love. Vasishtha. Kripa Sandeha Nashakarta. Please let Rama go with Vishwamitra. So, Sunita क्रोध करी गाय एक ही बाण प्राण हरिणी ना बाण So Maricha and Subahu attacked the Yatra of Vishwamitra. Ahalya. So I'll skip a few scenes so that we can go through the So Dasharatha decides on making Ram Manthara says, why do you want Karahu Sevakai? Why do you want to be a servant to the others? Tava Sukha Sahita, with your son he will be a servant. Oh, the famous line. प्राण जाई अरे वचन न जाई. So these are one of the best lines, dramatic lines of Tulsidas Ramayana. So Kaikeyi is requesting, she's trying to cajole Dasharatha into, giving her the boons. सुनहु प्राण प्रिय भावत जी का देहु एक वर भरत भरत ही टीका. Give Bharata the tika or the crown. So Rama goes. So this is where the Malay artist came in as Guha. So the person with the cap is playing the Guha dance, cap on his head. And so playing the fisher folk community. So Sri Ram, Siya Ram, Lakhan Bhai, Raja Ram. So Rama comes and Guha goes to them and then takes them. Goes on, and I'll just jump to the part where the Maricha. So the actions were based on the dialogue of Kuchipudi. So how Ravana threatens Maricha. Maricha agrees to become a deer. So on and so. I'll just continue. So there is a legacy and continuation. The Rasa Yatra continues. The Rangoli design that you see is from the performance itself, where the decoration outside was done by Rangoli artists. We have given several performances, so it connects across cultures. I also made subtitles, which helped connect for audiences who are not familiar with Awadhi language and Tulsidas Ramayan. So the performance are not necessarily in just auditoriums. It was in any place where we would get a chance to perform Ramayana, we would perform. And Tulsidas ji's lyrics serve for that, kind of presentation. So whether it was in a temple, in a Hobbelmutt temple in Mumbai, or it was a college which had a temple in SIS, we continued with our journey. I also did launched a festival called Katha Sagara, which we presented for 3 years in Bengaluru. And this Katha Sagara was a festival of music, dance, and visual arts. So for the first festival, we had Ramayana as our topic, and Mrs. Bhagya Murthy from Singapore with her musical group presented music with Rama themes. I presented Tulsidas Ramayana with my students, and a Rangoli artist, Vijaya Mohan, who is also from Singapore, she presented two Rangoli designs. One, the Maricha one, based on Tulsiji's description. And she also presented a Southeast Asian version of Jatai. So it was like a living exhibition, performance of visual and music performance. And of course, my own personal story, sorry to bring that in, but I just feel that Ramayana has also given a journey to all the students in my group of starting small. So you can see the small girl behind, holding the symbols and, just being part of a larger. That's my daughter. And also progressing further to do this thing. And maybe it's of interest, but I've named her Amara Rama. That's her official name, and it's a palindrome. So you can see how much I love Ramayana. And if I can, I would like to show you a performance which we did recently in 23. And with the music that has changed over the years.
सदा सुखदाम हरे, जय राम सदा सुखदाम हरे, रघुनायक सायक चाप धरे, रघुनायक सायक चाप धरे, भव बारन धारन सिंह प्रभो, भव बारन धारन सिंह प्रभो, गुण सागर नागर नाथ विभो, गुण सागर नागर नाथ विभो। जसु पावन रावण नाग महा खगनाथ चथा करि कोपगः जनरञ्जन भञ्जन शोक भयं गत क्रोध सदा प्रभु बोधमयम् अवतार उदार अपार गुणं महिभार विभञ्जन ज्ञानधनं रघुवंश विभूषण दूषणः कृतभूत विभीषण दीनरः ज्ञान निधान अमान अजम नितराम नमामि विभुं विरजं भुजदण्ड प्रचण्ड प्रताप बलं खलबृन्द निकन्द महाकुशलम् मदभार बुधा ममता समनं नृपनायक देवरदानमिदं चरणाम्बुज प्रेम सदा सुभदं चरणाम्बुज प्रेम सदा सुभदं जय राम सदा सुखदाम हरे रघुनायक सायक चावधरे भववारन दारन सिंह प्रभो गुण सागर नागर नाथ विभो जय राम सदा सुखदाम हरे रघुनायक सायक चापधरे भवभारन दारन सिंह प्रभो गुण सागर नागर नाथ विभो जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम श्री राम
All the verses are from Tulsidas.
मायामोहमलापहं सुविमलं प्रेमाम्बुपूरं शुभं श्रीमद्रामचरित्रमानसमिदं भक्त्यावगाहन्ति ये ते संसारपथनघोरकिरणैः दह्यन्ति नो मानवाः ॐ रामाय नमः ॐ रामाय नमः ॐ रामाय नमः
So I'll conclude with this thing. So dhanyavada to all who retain the Ramayana close to their heart and soul. We have also grown with performing the Ramayana. It has led to new creative. After dancing Ramayana for so many years, I also felt that Ramayana can be a reflection of the principles of yoga. So I wrote a script, and it was set to music. And the lower black and white photograph that you see is of a recent production called Yoga Ramayana, where all the transitions of the story are compared to the yogic transformation of a human soul. So with this, I conclude my presentation, and I consider myself lucky to have presented Ramayana, that too Tulsidas Ramayana, and I won't say I look for opportunities. Ramayana and all those things, I think, have to happen to you. It is a divine blessing. And I would compare my work to that of a popular folk story of a squirrel who tries to help Rama in building the bridge. And I feel the 3 strokes that the squirrel got on the back is how Rama has divine, he has given me the opportunities without even asking. So I feel that is the journey and the living. And even today, all my students hold Ramayana and they have learned Tulsidas Ramayana through the performances. So all of them can sing the dohas. They know each and every word. So that has helped them connect to this, vast cultural legacy and heritage across to perform in Singapore or wherever. So I'm very grateful to get this opportunity to present my side of the squirrel story in this great ocean that you are listening. Thank you so much. And Nagraj and everybody else.
Thank you, Siri ji, for this wonderful presentation. Actually, what we were missing was a big round or several rounds of applause from the audience for all the performances that you were including. If it was a physical presentation,
Yes.
definitely there would have been many rounds of applause for the choreography, for the formations, for the design, uh, for the brevity that you were able to achieve in each of the productions. Wonderful, Siriji. There are a few comments and questions.
Okay.
One is that one Anurag Tripathi says that Namami Shamisham is not recited by Ravana in Tulsi Ramayana.
Yes, I know that. But I've used it. So it is a bit of a drama, liberty with the artist. It's not recited by Ravana. But
Yeah.
it is,
And
and it is not there in the dance sequence also. I don't have Ravana reciting it. I have Shiva and Parvati dance to this, to this shloka. So Shiva and Parvati, because it's a dance drama, you have to show sequences of dancing. So Shiva and Parvati dance to this, and Ravana is just sitting on the side. So he's
okay.
not saying the shloka. As
From Sunil Kumarji, these questions, did you consider adapting texts extant in Southeast Asia, folk versions in India, more from Sita's perspective, or dance forms prevalent in Thailand or Cambodia?
Did I think about it? Oh, yes, I think, and I've read a lot. There are different Ramayanas and different perspectives. Sita, uh, mm, like one of the Malay has a text called Hikayat Seri Rama, which is presented in form of puppetry. In that, Rama has to search for who is the real Sita during the Swayamvara. So there are different idols of Sita kept. And he finally finds out because only the original Sita breathes. All of them are static. They are not breathing. So this is how he discovers the real Sita and its test for this thing. So yeah, there are different versions and they lend themselves to drama and everything. Opportunities, and I know also, I've thought about that. I've also done some, Sita Shurpanaka Samvada is something that I've done. Sita and Shurpanaka meet after, it's a modern day interpretation of both of them meeting and discussing, and how Shurpanaka regrets her
There is a thanksgiving by one Kathy Gupta. She is saying, "Ma'am, thank you so much for your work that you are doing." And there are other comments and questions, but they are related to Ranganji's talk.
Okay.
Ranganji has left,
Oh,
so we can pass on these questions to Ranganji, and the audience who sent these questions can be directly in communication with Ranganji. One question to Ranganji was, I wanted to ask about Bharat Samhita, which entails how to make Rama Lakshmana Vigrahas. Does it belong to 6th century? If it is true, then how come are we saying that only after Kamban Rama Parivar Puja is coming in Vigraha form? Another question from Lalita V. This could also be because they connect with the Aranya and Yuddha Kanda which happened in their locale, and hence Rama, Sita, Lakshmana, Hanuman is necessary entities of the Parivara. Some contemporary researchers claim that today's Sri Lanka is not the same as the during Ramayana and the negation of building of the Setu, but people's psyche gives no room to such research outputs. These are related to Ranganji's presentation, so there is no need for you to respond.